Hey, and we back with another episode of the Cookout,
You know what?
long-awaited return.
I got that.
You're.
What's
know-
happening? Look, you know what we're here to talk about. I don't think we even need to. We don't even need to have an introduction of the topic. I think everybody knows what we're here for and what we're here to talk about.
This
We
was
got
me
people in the chat early. Coop Daddy Yoda, Doki Momo,
What up, everybody?
the Captain's Log, Hawks Holocrons. What's happening, everybody?
What's going on? Did you say Mr. Loaf?
Mr. Loaf. Oh, I just said I'd pop in.
What's
Mr. Loaf.
on?
Hey, man, you got it, man. How y'all been?
Been good, man. That was a long hiatus.
Good.
It
Very
was.
long.
It was.
Yes.
Man,
Very happy
It
to be
was.
back.
I'm
Very
at town at the moment, but I'm still good to go.
All right. Well, Imani, what we got going on?
Y'all, we here to talk about Batman. What you mean?
The
saw
Batman.
They saw the cup. They know what we here for. Y'all, okay. I was telling them off camera that I went to go see the Batman in Regal RPX with the butt kicker seats. If you have seen it already, even if you haven't, if you're watching this, then you should have seen it. Otherwise, you're about to hear some stuff. Even if you've seen it already, though, go watch it again in a Regal RPX with the butt kicker seats. I have seen several films there, but this is the first time that I can say they took full advantage of the seats. I felt like I got shot. Batman was punching me, and I enjoyed it the entire time. It was fantastic. I was in the seat.
That's what's up.
Oh,
I gotta
man.
try that. I definitely gotta try that.
If I can find one of those theaters, I'll go just for the experience.
Yeah, there's one around the corner back home. So as soon as I get back home, I'm there.
Gotta try it.
It was totally worth it.
Gotta try it. And then we got some special guests in the house, too, as well. You all know them as the admin of the Discord
Oh,
for Certified Gumbo, Mark and Ebony. How y'all doing?
So,
Actually, they probably don't really know y'all. They might not know y'all by your actual
it's been a
names.
minute.
yeah.
Wow.
They might-
The handles.
Yeah, what's your handles in Discord?
Mine's Mackie Boomers and
At Kenya Star.
Look, it's like lights coming on in Revelation. You're like, that's Mackie. That's the boy that be in here arguing with us back and forth in the sports chat 24/7. Yes, sir. Stirring the pot.
They're so active in the Discord and with us in general that they're not just special guests, they're family.
They is part of the
Yes,
family,
sir.
definitely.
Family.
It's a bad
Yeah,
heart.
look at the
It's clicking.
click in. All right, man. So yeah. So
What are we
there
rating?
we have it.
No,
Yeah. So what it's scoops of gumbo is the rating system on a scale of 1 to 10 scoops of gumbo. How many scoops of gumbo are we getting this?
it's
10. I'm giving it
10,
10.
and then
Easy
second.
10.
10.
It's an easy 10 for me as well. This is the best Batman film I ever seen. Point blank. Period. There's no discussion about it.
Beat the Dark Knight series.
It's
Yeah.
just it is
And
what
I
it
didn't think it
is.
was possible, but
It did the unthinkable and beat
I
out
didn't think that either.
Dark Knight.
I didn't.
I went in there with no expectations, really. I was like, see how it goes.
Yeah, see what happens.
Man,
Nah, cause I did look. I did trash talk the film early when it got announced. Cause I was like, bro, they got Twilight in here playing Batman. I'm like, I'm not with it.
He did a good job.
I own it. I
Batman.
claim it.
Shout out to Edward, Team Edward still.
I'm like, bro, they got Edward in here trying to play Batman. I'm like, oh lord, this about to be
watching the
emo.
movies every
He got
time
the
they come
Batman
on
voice
form.
now. Pat, like,
He got it. He killed it, man. He
Killed
killed it.
That
One
came
of the,
out 8.5. I'm already mad. I don't
One of-
like that.
How would you make it better?
What you salty about? With
What would you add?
What?
Some salt.
I literally couldn't find anything wrong with the
I'm
movie.
not gonna lie to you though. I've noticed that Ducky has had an increased level of salt these last couple of days, especially the Discord. Like, I don't know what's going on.
going on?
This man ain't happy with nothing that's going on in the fandom on the Star Wars front. I feel him on the Star Wars front, but we ain't gonna get into that. We talking about Batman. But yeah, like, yeah. So this film for me, I think the whole cast overall, this is definitely the best cast of Batman.
Oh yeah, no
Hands
doubt.
down. Best performances all around. also one of the best scores. Like this score was like incredible. Like
Yeah.
when they were in the alley. Well, what's the train scene when with the and then he came out the shadows.
With the
And that
movie.
score kicked in that first time. I'm like, yes, sir. This is about to be. I'm here for it. I'm here for
That
it.
whole opening intro was just
Yeah, the opening was
That whole opening sequence was fire. The build up to it, the lead in, like the build up, the way they continued to build on everything that happened in the film was like phenomenal. Like it was suspenseful at all 3 hours. Like it never felt like 3. It didn't feel like 3 hours to me. Like it felt long, but it didn't feel that long. Like the suspense kept you like really in it.
It was a real story. Like it was a mystery. Like they're trying to figure out what's going on.
It was this real like criminal like noir detective Batman story. It was just like, yeah, that's what Batman's supposed to be like. That is the Batman.
It felt like the animated series a bit.
It did. It felt like the graphic novels. Like it took inspiration from like the source material and portrayed it accurately. I feel like this was like also the best version of Gotham too. Like this felt like Gotham City. Like
Gotham Square Garden.
yeah, like the Nolan films I thought were really good depiction of Gotham, but it still felt like too real world. Like it felt like some city in America. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like New York. This felt like this was somewhere. This was Gotham City. Like I didn't feel like it was, I felt like I had left. I was in the DC verse. Exactly. Yeah.
City, yeah. Like,
yeah.
Nolan's films were like a mixture of multiple cities. You get like a little bit of Chicago, a little bit of New York, a little bit of Pittsburgh. Like,
they took the worst parts from every possible city and was like, we're going to put these right here.
The grittiest part of the city. Yeah.
Mike Porter in the building. Michael J. Porter Bartholomew II.
No, not the Marvel shield had being critical of DC. What? Oh no, who would have predicted that one? Like,
like Riddler as a serial killer. What?
Okay, so I am going to not judge people, although definitely judging Ducky. Was it Ducky? Yeah, it was Ducky. Yeah. Everybody else
gave it an 8 out of 10 though.
Because I'm trying my best not to compare the films. I really do think, and I don't know if I said this, I think this is the best superhero film I've ever seen, period. However, I am going to respect the opinions of others, for once, except Bucky. And I'm going to not compare too much. Like, the Christopher Nolan trilogy was fantastic. And until recently, we didn't think anybody could do better. So, it's not really fair to compare and say this is better, that is better. But what I will say is all the things that Michael Porter did not like about it are the things I loved about it. Like, I like the Riddler being a psychopath who's just out here killing people. I liked that. I loved how dark the film was. I liked how gritty it was. I love Robert Pattinson as emo Batman. I love that they kept the makeup on him when he took his mask off. That makes sense for once. But I also like the grunge look. He was looking real deep and depressed, all in his own. That was fantastic. I love all of that stuff. So I can't find too many complaints with this movie. I love how dark it is, but I'm also the person who loves horror films and loves the dark. I want to see the violence. So, to me, this is what a superhero film should be. They're literally saving the world from violence, from crime. So shouldn't it be violent and dark?
And it was so realistic.
It was so grounded. Like, it was like a real detective film.
It felt like a man in a suit. Like,
and it's 2 years. Yeah, he's 2 years into being the Batman. Like he shouldn't have all the tech and like all the access to everything. Like we should build to all of that stuff.
When he jumped off that building, was scared. You could tell he was scared to jump off that building. He's like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but this is supposed to work.
Gotta go for it. He
didn't ask for the landing yet either. He definitely jacked himself on that landing.
Yeah. And limped off. I was like, yeah, that's real Batman right here.
Yeah.
Because Batman, you got to get beat up a few times.
To add to that point that you made about the Riddler, like I loved it because it builds his relationship with the Joker. Like you can see how these two would actually get along and be like a really like formidable combo later on in the in this franchise because like there's no way we're getting just one of these. Like I need more.
I hope they don't
Or
bring
we're
the
gonna start
Joker.
another.
I don't think
No,
they
no,
need the
no, not too early. Not too early. Some more. But yeah, JPM.
Thought I had to sneeze.
Yo,
What you got? What you got? How how's
man,
your
everything about this movie I love. There's not one thing I can find to criticize. It's like from the score to the art design to the coloring to the story to the performances to the symbolism between Batman and Riddler's rivalry. Like, man, 10
it's
out of
it,
10.
it's so I saw it before. I think I was the first one to see it, right? Like yeah,
Yes.
of us, right? So when I started the spoiler chat, I was just like, man, I had to word vomit, but I felt going into it, I'm like, yo, they gonna love this film. Like it's no question in my mind. Like they about to love this movie, and like the crazy thing, the affirmation was JBM hops in Discord immediately, goes to the spoiler chat and just word vomits like boom, just immediately. I'm like, yo, he never reacts like that in Discord to anything ever. So like, man, I knew the high praise was coming. Mark and Ebony, what was y'all overalls? Just opinions of the film and experience, and y'all went to the butt kicker movie too. So,
No, we
or
didn't.
no, that was yeah, that was
Almost.
Amani.
The Selena, yes.
What do you think?
I loved it. I'm glad that they went full in. They leaned into the darkness of Gotham. I honestly was afraid for my life as if I was in that stadium. The realism was on point. This is what it should be like. This is what I want to see. I want to feel the emotions that they feel and just transport me to Gotham. I love that they continue kind of the story of the TV series Gotham. Like they took it that much further than what the TV show did. So I love that. Just everything about it.
Yeah, I like that they stayed so true to like who everything that makes Batman Batman. Like you never saw like it didn't throw anything that Batman wouldn't do. Like he was strict on I'm not gonna kill anybody. He was strict on I don't like guns. He was strict on being so distant with Catwoman, but he really likes Catwoman, but he don't trust Catwoman. But at the same time, he likes Catwoman, and that I like that. There's stupid things like that. It was just so grounded and gritty and real. Even like I can see why some people won't like it because so it is dark and it gets scary at the end. Like it's really like it draws from real life. I like they made a modern Batman, but it still felt like a person just in a suit fighting. Because it's hard to make a modern superhero movie a modern Batman movie when there's better weapons out there
Right.
that can take you out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but he was able to do it, and I like that he kept it grounded. It still felt like I could see that happening in real life. Like it was a perfect movie to me. I had no complaints. I tried to find something like, is there anything wrong with it or something I would have changed, but. No.
Yeah,
Because they didn't try to make it like a Marvel movie. Like they were like, no, this is the Batman.
Opposite.
This is DC's lane right here. This is the lane.
Like
This is where
the two
This
best
is where
films.
I always said I want DC to be more like Batman.
And the two best films have been the Snyder Cut and this. Like this is where DC's lane should be. Give us dark and gritty, but still let the heroism still shines through. Like your heroes are still very heroic. It's just not as
it's no cheese
up tempo as like Marvel is. Like
a lot of Marvels gets jokey.
Marvel's they've got the puns and the jokes, and it's fast paced, and it's got like a lot of action, and it's just like it's this high octane type of adventure. Like this is way more grounded. It feels like you can feel the stakes in every single scene. Like you feel these elements of suspense. It builds very slowly and gradually, but it still rewards you in the end with like the conclusion and still leaves the door open for more. Like this is exactly how they should be crafting these stories. Like this is it. Like if they
and I like that they showed like Batman's like knowledge, like how smart he actually is.
Yeah,
they actually treated him like a detective who actually got everything before anybody else did. He figured everything out, And when he figures something
Just
out,
walks
he
away.
disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't say anything, right? Like he noticed he was a real detective. Like he is not a part of the law enforcement element, right?
Mhm.
But as he's analyzing the crime scene, you can see him picking up on things and like looking to see if they're picking up on it, but he won't say anything to them. Like he doesn't trust them because he doesn't know which of them are corrupt. He
And
trusts
yeah,
Gordon, but he's
Mhm.
not going to say anything to Gordon in that moment. Like he's going to go, and when they have that one-on-one conversation, then like
And just
he'll
like
open
Batman.
up. Yeah, just
he
like
Once
doesn't
he
Batman.
waste
figures it
words
out, he's
either, which I
disappearing.
love. Like he says the minimum amount.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I like that
Exactly.
they kept like comic book Batman, where he's just like at the end at the Gotham Square Garden, he's tying up he's tying up all the shooters, like, and just have them dangling. I'm like, that's what Batman does. He
Just
captures the
disarm them.
Batman and just disarms them and just like ties them up on a flagpole or something like that, and lets the police deal with him after. I was like, oh,
Ooh.
that kept real to like who Batman is. I like
That's
that
this
little-
that's a great question. Who's everyone's favorite supporting character in this?
Mm.
That's a great question.
The
I-
villains were so good.
I'm about to say, I
I
don't
know, man, that's tough.
The villains
I'm gonna
were so
go with
good.
Penguin. I agree with Brendan
That's
Porter.
tough.
I really like Penguin, and I don't want to call Catwoman a supporting character because to me they was like a double lead a little bit.
Yeah,
She had so much.
I feel like
So I'm not excluding her, but I really loved the performance of Penguin. And what's the name of the actor who plays him?
I'm just looking up right now.
They did
Colin Farrell.
They did
yeah, Colin Farrell.
Look nothing like him.
they
Nothing at
did
all.
that, and it didn't
Nothing
look
at
like
all.
makeup. I really thought that was his face. They did a great job.
I forgot it was him because I
Yeah.
knew he was in the film as Penguin. But then when I was watching the film, I completely forgot that. Like, and then at the end, I was like, "Who played Penguin?" I was like, "Oh, I forgot."
That car
He did a great
chase
job.
scene with the Penguin was so, like
No,
his commentary in the car made it feel that much more realistic. Like that's something somebody would say when they're getting chased by a man in a bat suit.
So
He calls
this
it freak.
that
Can I just say
Oh,
that I
man.
watched The Dark Knight and I watched Batman Begin and The Dark Knight today. Both had car chases, and this car chase is just clearly the best. Like looking at it, it was kind of sad. Like, dang. And we love those movies, and I don't want to disrespect those movies because they were great, but this was just something different. Like that was fantastic.
Yeah,
Well,
I love the Penguin.
it was more like it was more like a classic Batmobile though. Like honestly, and it was a believable like Batmobile. Like I like the tumbler, but like you know, this is like a very Batman-esque vehicle. Like that was a straight up like tank.
And it's early Batman. He's supposed to be
Yeah.
young. Like he's not supposed
Right.
to have everything together and have all the best tools yet.
Yeah.
Also, the Nolan trilogy Batman was a little bit flashier and liked to spend his money more. Wasn't too much into customization. Like just maybe besides putting a bat signal on it, give it autopilot, but let it do what it was made for. I'm gonna buy the biggest and the best possible thing, and I'm gonna use it for what it is. This Batman isn't like that.
Best supporting character though. I would think it would be. I like the Riddler because I like the
That's
Riddler
mine.
was so like. He
Yeah.
seems like a villain, a modern day like psychopath. Like he has in his mind he's doing this for a reason and there's a method to it, and he's doing all these riddles to help.
He mirrors Batman.
He's getting entertained with it. Yeah.
Mhm.
He mirrors Batman and what he's doing.
It feels like they actually had some of the HBO writers involved in writing this story. Like
I wouldn't be surprised.
it felt because of how the criminal side, like just the mystery and like it feels like an HBO production. You know what I'm saying? Like not,
Mhm.
it doesn't feel like it feels like a true crime. Like it feels like a real detective noir type of thing, and it's just got it's Batman though. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a comic book movie, but it's like it feels so grounded in reality while mixing in those fantasy comic book elements. It's
Can I-
a really good balance.
Cinematographer.
That's a great question.
Oh, the cinematographer. I was looking at that. Cinematographer was. Let me see.
The reason why this movie,
Greg Fraser. He's done Zero Dark 30, Lion, Rogue One, Dune,
Doom.
and Vice.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I think the reason why this movie succeeds so well as a mystery is because it was inspired by mysteries. I don't know if y'all know, and if you want more information on this, I want to say New Rock Stars has a really good breakdown of the Batman, but Paul Dano's character, the Riddler, and the mystery itself was inspired by the Zodiac movie and the Zodiac Killer. So, how Zodiac interacted with the police, to how he looked, to how he spoke to Batman, mirrors how Zodiac spoke to I think it was a journalist in California, and how he communicated with them. That was very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Heavily influenced by the Zodiac Killer himself and the movie The Zodiac, which is a top-notch mystery movie.
Right.
And he was like purposely misspelling words and stuff like that. Yeah. What do y'all think about like his first riddle, like the what is it, the rat with wings?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
I immediately thought it was the bat. That's what I was.
Yeah, I was like, a bat.
I did too.
Exactly.
It was like, yo, his riddles were like his riddles were like triple entendres. Like it was just you could make connections to anybody in the city with his riddles, yo. They were really. I don't know who wrote those riddles, but that was they deserve.
Yeah, those were great. And
praise.
Best
the font
riddles
for his writing was like perfect. Like, those details, that attention to detail was all through the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Penguin,
for sure.
when they left him tied up and he started hobbling towards him, just like a penguin would. I'm like, yo.
I've been staring at the thing from the website for days trying to figure out if there's a little extra stuff going on there. I don't know if y'all went to the website La Rada. What is it?
Oh,
El Rada. Yeah.
So a lot of Radas. If you go to the website, there's an actual cipher you can break down, and like it's kind of simple, but I'm trying to figure out there's something else going on in there, and I don't see anything going on right now. But there's a countdown that I thought was going to end today, but my math was wrong. We got a couple more days, so definitely.
Gonna happen.
What is it, Larada?
Ratata. I think it's
Radalada.
A lot of ravioli.
In the chat.
My favorite supporting character would definitely be Penguin. Like, but JPM, did you say who yours was? It's all the same reasons.
The Riddler.
Okay,
Yeah, gotta be the Riddler. I mean, I think the Penguin was the perfect complement to the Riddlers.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, Penguin was great, but I gotta go with the Riddler.
There were so many characters and very important characters to the Batman and Gotham in this movie that played supporting roles, and they did a really good job of blending them all in without like anyone like being overshadowed. Like everybody got their shine and everybody got their spotlight and their moments, and that was really cool and good to see. Like it was an ensemble of characters in this movie. It's a lot more than what was in the it's bigger in scale. It's still small, but it's much bigger than what the trailers may indicate. I think they did a really good job.
That's why
with the marketing.
That's why it reminded me of the Gotham series.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a grown-up version of that Gotham series, because Gotham series was on network television, so couldn't get too crazy, but but it was a grown-up version of it. Like I like that they had like the Penguin was in there. The Penguin in Gotham, he was that same character in the movie. Like he was a goofy, but he was in mobs and gangs and stuff, but he really wasn't that guy. Like he's really just an opportunist. He's just trying to get in where he fits in, type of character.
Speaking
and so
to
you saw that, and you saw the other guy. What's the other guy's name? The guy that was Catwoman's mom, dad.
Falcone.
Yeah, like exactly. He was the original one. I like that. He was always dying in every iteration I've seen.
And he was legit Don. Like, you know, like he was a real Don. And and I love that, like, that whole plot with him and Bruce Wayne's father, like all of that it added layers. You know what I'm saying?
Directly from the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It added layers to the story though. Like so there's an origin story within it, because it's not the origin of the Batman. It's more or less like an origin of, or no, I mean, it's not a Bruce Wayne origin story. It's like a Batman origin story. Like it's unlocking all of that. The Bruce Wayne really understanding what Gotham needs for him from him as the Batman, and like it all ties in together with like his past and like all that stuff. It's so man, it's so well written. Like it's really
Yeah.
the more I think about it, I'm like, yo, they did a really good job of writing the story.
Is anyone watching Severance on? I think it's on Apple TV.
Nope.
The guy playing Falcone, his performance was a little messed up for me because he's on a show called Severance, and his character is completely different, very wacky, and it was just hard to see. Like, yo, like he don't. What's happening here? It's very because the show is still ongoing, and I'm obsessed with it right now, so it's really hard. But I'm gonna try to see if I can get more details on that and share it with y'all so you understand what I'm talking about because it's hard to see him and not see that character for me right now. So the whole time I was like, I can't even take him seriously.
He
Because
played another character that was
he's a
really
comedic actor. That's the thing. Like he's like his bread and butter is in comedy and acting. Like all because he's in the Transformers movies, and he's also in
It's that movie with George Clooney. They were like,
it's like
What
broke
movie
out of
was
prison.
yours? Thousands, bro.
Narrow it down.
They were from the South. They broke out of prison. They would sing a lot of like blues songs or something. Like, what was it called?
I'm familiar with the movie Agent.
Oh, brother, where art thou? That's the name.
He's also in Do the Right Thing. He's
Yeah,
he's the Italian. Like he's Sal in Do the Right Thing.
He's Sal's son.
Yeah, his son.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's a comedian. Like he's basically played the same type of character up until this character. Like this is a very far departure from him in his usual character portrayals, and he does a really good job. Like
Glasses helped because without them, I'd have been like, I can't even.
it's the glasses and the mustache, but also the lack of him. He's not on screen a lot. Like he's in the background. Like he's key and important to the story, but he's not overshadowing. Like he's the Don. Like you're not going to see him too often.
But master in the back.
Exactly. Like if it's a problem if you see him. Like if he shows up, like you at the end of the line, basically.
Yeah, but the extras in the movie were great too. Like every extra in the scene felt like they were a real person. Like the extras in the crime scenes when they were documenting evidence, or just the police officers in their uniform. Like everyone seemed and felt very, very real.
People in the club.
Yeah, people in the club. It was like it was just like, man, perfect casting all around.
The twins that watched the door of the club were my favorite. Just throughout the
they were
film. Like the one twin and then he disappears and the other one shows up.
I told you.
Yeah. No,
Like, man just walked in the club. He just walked.
What was y'all's
straight up
favorite
to the club.
action scene, like fight scene?
Fight scene.
Because my favorite was when he cut the lights out. He got in the club, he cut the lights out,
Yeah.
started fighting in the dark.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The
When he
bullets
cut
and
the
he
power and he's walking through the hall. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That got me. I was like, oh man.
I don't know, man.
Because Batman
That's
would do
tough.
that, cut the lights out. Because he has an advantage in the darkness.
Yeah, he's
That was a cool scene. That was a very cool scene.
master of the shadows, man.
I keep thinking about the car scene. That's my favorite sequence in the movie. Is that car chase?
Oh, I meant to say that when you mentioned that earlier, like that. Oh, the intro to the Batmobile. I was giddy, yo. Like when that happened, and the
I thought it
music,
stalled
and then
out
like the
before.
startup, like because it's got that blue light, and all of a sudden the red light creeps in, and you got the smoke effects. I was like, bro, who shot this? I was hyping, like I was the only one in the theater going crazy. I was like, yo, this is fire. Like that's the best Batmobile reveal in any of the movies.
Yeah, the movie was littered with poster-worthy scenes.
Yes.
Like, all
sure.
the scenes when he's standing on the skyscraper talking to either Commissioner Gordon or Catwoman.
Yeah,
I loved all those scenes because it just looks so good. And I like that Gotham was always dark. It was either nighttime, the only daytime shots were when the sun was setting.
And it rained
Exactly.
At the funeral.
Yeah.
Only
Like,
time
yeah,
you saw
it was-
the sun was setting.
Yeah, it was either a dusk shot or a dawn shot. That was it. That was the most sunlight you got. Even in the daytime shots, it was either cloudy or it was raining. Like, and in nighttime shots, it it was dark, or it was dark and stormy. Like the opening, I don't know, man. That was just great. It was like, yeah, that whole monologue that he had at the opening when the dude robbed the store, and then like because he emerges from the shadows, the robber does, goes into the store, robs the store, starts, and he just tries to run back to the shadows, and all of a sudden he gets scared. He looks up at the bat signal, and all of a sudden, like the shadows that protected him are now like something that he's afraid of. I just loved how they used the camera to depict all that. Like
Yeah,
he's
I
like
love
all of a sudden he's like, I don't know, Batman might be in.
even
He's like,
he was wearing. It's just like, man, he's even scaring the demons out here.
exactly.
They took that from, I think, the Dark Knight Rises. I think they do that in the Dark Knight Rises, where people are trying to commit crimes and they're scared looking over their shoulder.
Yeah. It's,
Yep.
was it? Yeah, it was Dark Knight Rises. No,
No,
it was in the Dark Knight too.
Dark Knight.
It
Sorry,
was in
not
Dark Knight.
It was the
Yeah,
Dark.
because it was with the scarecrow scene when they were in the parking deck, and then the
Yes.
bat signal flashes on. They're like, "Oh no, we getting out of here!" Like, Batman. But yeah, and it was cool, like to see that some criminals were afraid, like, but others weren't, and some didn't even know who he was yet. Like, he's still like he's an urban legend, like, which is dope. Like,
I love that they were clowning him every time he walked on the scene. Like, why you got Zorro? Like, you was Zorro.
Like, who this guy?
Yeah.
yeah,
The commissioner tell him, he says, this must be your favorite night. Oh,
I'm
man.
a question in the chat from the Captain's Log. How do y'all feel about Martha's mental health and how that may have impacted Bruce?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, and the explanation of Arkham Asylum too, and like all of that, like because you then understand the connection to Bruce Wayne and Gotham, but also Arkham Asylum, and like it just that's what I'm saying. It's the layers of it that you don't really get in the other films, but it's part of the lore of Batman, and I like how they subtly incorporated all of that into the story to where it has like actual true deep impact. Like
That's
it's
part of that
just a
lead up
well written thing.
That's part of the lead up to the series they're gonna do. They're gonna do an Arkham Asylum series on HBO.
Oh, wow.
That's gonna be man.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad. See, man, yeah, I'm glad. I hope they're using the creatives over there at HBO, because HBO does not miss. Like HBO shows or HBO originals. Like, man, HBO Max has some of the best content on all streaming platforms. It's not as much as most, but quality over quantity for sure. That's been HBO's MO for forever. So no surprises.
I'm excited to see how that newfound knowledge is going to affect him in the next film. Like in this film, we see someone who's less dedicated to the Wayne legacy and more just like, I'm going to do me. I want to do this Batman stuff. And within this film, he finds out that his father was corrupt. He finds out that his mother was insane and his grandmother killed his grandfather and all that stuff. And now, of course, what happened when his family left and the orphanage fell off, now he's realizing how important his family legacy was to Gotham. And he's kind of going to need to bring it back. Like, I'm expecting to see in the next film a Bruce Wayne that's a little bit more active with Wayne Enterprises. And I'm looking forward to seeing him not just fighting crime, but saving all of Gotham, not necessarily just saving Gotham by, fighting crime. He needs to do it during the daytime and at nighttime.
Yeah. They gave the character the perfect opportunity for that growth. Like,
right.
In this movie, I felt like for the first time, I felt Bruce Wayne, where he was coming from. I was like, man, he's really mentally disturbed.
Yeah.
He does not want to talk to anybody. He's fully committed to being Batman. He doesn't even like to be out in the sunlight. Like he's going through it. So I want to see that unravel in the next movie.
Yeah, and it gives him the perfect cover, like him being the humanitarian for Gotham during the day, and like the vigilante crime fighter during the night, like, because he is the rage of the good people of Gotham. Like that's Batman should always be that. Like he's the Dark Knight. He is, like he says, I am vengeance. I am the night. Like, yeah, that's who Batman is. But who Bruce Wayne is like the complete opposite of that. And it's a perfect duality of that character that we don't usually see. We get a lot of times we get the playboy fun side, but you don't get the humanitarian, like just nice Bruce Wayne.
I think they definitely set up for him to be able to be more active during the day. Since we know that was she the one of her governor, or she became governor,
The mayor.
or the mayor.
Yeah.
So maybe he can work with her and actually make things happen during the day.
Yeah, I
He
think
definitely
so.
wanted to work
I
with him.
mean, they ended it with him having a complete change of perspective. Like the whole movie, he was all about
Vengeance.
vengeance. And then he, facing the Riddler, he realized that's not going to work. What's better is to give hope. So we'll see how he follows through with being that symbol of hope.
Yeah, at the end, he really became a hero. Like before, he was just a vigilante.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they spun that on their head when they said that I don't know what they call themselves, but the group said they are vengeance.
Yeah, and then he was really offended.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he took that personally.
He did take that
That's
personally.
real life, though. That they gonna take your little slogan and flip it.
Okay,
They
so
gonna take your slogan that meant something else, and they're gonna flip it and say, "I thought we on the same side."
that's a good segue
definitely
into
worked.
something else.
I
That Easter egg in that last fight scene where Bruce Wayne or Batman injects himself with a serum. Is that y'all think
That's Bane's
that's what there's a lot of people, the internet is saying that's the Bane serum because it was green. It was green
and shiny.
And he just
they could have made it clear.
He went belligerent, like
he about to kill that man. He was about to kill him.
He was real close. He was real close, like because bro was dead. He was ready for the he was he was out of it. He put that serum in. And he was like all of a sudden he turned into the Hulk. It went crazy.
That was a reminder that even though he's a younger Batman, he's not necessarily new. He's been doing this for 2 solid years. I like that means that there's a whole bunch of villains that we know of that he's probably seen or dealt with in some way. The fact that at the end of the movie, we see one of his biggest villains is already in Arkham, which means he has a relationship with him. So that just excited me and let me know, okay, there's a little bit extra stuff going on behind the scenes, and hopefully we get to see that. And now that I'm knowing about all the shows, there's probably a chance that we may get to experience that in some of the shows.
Yeah. So which villains would y'all like to see, like in the next movie that you haven't seen on screen yet?
Oh, because I wanted to see a new version of the Scarecrow.
I want to see Poison Ivy.
I would love to see Poison Ivy. I would love to see the Mad Hatter.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, and had a crazy costume, man.
I think Harvey Dent would make sense with Two-Face, with the connection to what's the thing? I forgot. It's not Falcone.
Porter, you feel me? Harvey Dent would fit right in. It's just like we just saw.
Like leave it alone,
but no, okay, so
much.
But
Two-Face is my favorite.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. With Two-Face, I forget the criminal who killed, who had Bruce Wayne's dad killed, because it wasn't Falcone, or it was the guy that Falcone blamed.
This version, we don't know.
You don't know. You never know.
No. But he says it. Falcone tells him who it is.
He's gaslighting him.
He's gaslighting the guy, but I forget. But he's the one. He's the one that poured the acid on Harvey Dent's face and turned him into Two-Face.
Maroni.
Yeah, Maroni. Maroni is the one in lore who turned Harvey Dent into Two-Face because he poured the acid on him. So like he's there. There is a connection and a segue for him to come into the to the franchise.
In this Batman, though, I like that they didn't really give us an answer on who killed his.
Yeah.
Because like you get 2 sides of the story, like because even when he was telling them, like he was like, but I don't know for sure. That's just what I think. And then he went to what's his name, Alfred, and he told him a different story and said, "Well, that's what I think."
I think
so
Falcone
really don't even
did.
know. You think he did? I don't think so.
I think he did.
You did it.
I think he did too.
He was just
I
trying to
appreciate that they didn't give us a straight answer, and I love that they didn't show us who Maroni is. Like, we have somebody to look forward to. We heard his name a million times throughout this entire movie, and we don't even know what he looks like. I'm hyped for that.
Yeah.
Well, it could be they could. Oh man, they could do Two-Face and then have like bring in Harvey Dent and let Harvey Dent be the prosecutor to try to take down Maroni, and then actually do the right Harvey Two-Face origin story where it turns on him, and then like because Maroni captures him and pours the acid down the side of his face, and and then he turns into Two-Face. Because they kind of sort of do it in The Dark Knight, but that wasn't really that was really hard to believe.
There's different versions of him getting turned into Two-Face.
Yeah,
There's one story where they set a bomb package at his front porch, and he goes off.
True.
I'm kind of tired of origin stories, regardless of who it is, unless it's a character that we haven't seen on screen before. I don't need to know the origin story.
Yeah, I love how we get thrown into this.
They just threw us in. Yeah, like it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, I don't mean for it to be like a just a true like. I think that what I mean is like if Batman is trying to find Maroni, let's say in the next film, I feel like it's a great way to bring in a Harvey Dent type of character, since there is a connection between him and Maroni in the lore, and like with Gotham trying to rebuild, and like all these characters and people who are trying to become, trying to build a better Gotham. Like Harvey Dent is one of those characters from the start, and then that goes south. So like, yeah, like it.
Who I also want to see is Strange. Hugo Strange. Yeah, I also want to see him.
Hugo Strange would be good.
I would be okay with that. Yeah.
In the Gotham series, he actually was running Arkham. So
Strange was?
To it.
Yeah.
I wonder how him do that.
Yeah, Strange was running Arkham.
Because he was exploiting all the sick people in Arkham and turning them into supervillains. Like he's like in Gotham, I think he made
mad scientist.
Yeah, he like was bringing like the criminals back to life and stuff like that. Like, so you thought Freeze was gone, but he came back.
I wouldn't mind seeing if they can do Mr. Freeze right. Like, I would not mind seeing him.
It's gonna be hard to do though.
I'm so scarred from the previous rendition. I'm okay.
I would like to see. We need a rebrand, yo.
So it's interesting because this movie was so grounded. A villain like Mr. Freeze, it'd be interesting to see how they do it. Because
it'd be tough.
Poison Ivy could.
Poison Ivy definitely
Strange could. Two-Face can. Even Mad Hatter can. But Mr. Freeze is like the most.
Freeze is tough.
They're gonna have to take
grounded. But I guess you could find a way. Like if
it would have to be real. You'd have to go in deep into the science side of it, and he can't be over the top like he was with with how Schwarzenegger played him.
And stuff.
Yeah, you can't do all that stuff. It would have to be like he could have some weaponized version of cryotechnology, but it can't be cheesy.
Just have
know
what
I'm saying?
He could torture them by like
freeze a limb or
freeze them alive type stuff. Like he captures them and then freezes them alive.
They'd have to transform him the way they transformed the Riddler. Like, I don't think I would have thought of the Riddler in this way ever. This wouldn't have been my process for him. I think they're gonna have to, like how they did some good research on mysteries for the Riddler. Maybe they're gonna have to consider other mysteries for other villains. Like, that might just be the route to go, because just like we said earlier, this is the best rendition of Batman as a detective. So we're gonna have to give him a villain that's gonna require a lot of detective work.
Agreed.
Strange.
Also, just in my mind, I see it right now. Everything was all dark and stuff. Instead of a poison ivy like sprouting leaves and stuff, Sis gonna be growing more mold spores. I see it. I see the vision.
Ooh, spread it out the city.
Oh, like, hey, what's that? M. Night Shyamalan? Hey, what's the M. Night Shyamalan movie? The Happening. Yeah.
On the plant.
But she's gonna she probably develop poisons and stuff, and people get poisoned.
Oh man. Yeah, like that is definitely an
Because the Gotham
easier.
version of her, and I'm just going back to Gotham just because it just reminded me so much of it, but just a grown up version of it. In the Gotham one, she was really just a botanist. Like she would just deal with these plants and then expose the poisons out. Like she wasn't growing stuff out of her skin.
You could do like a yeah, I mean, yeah. If she's like a botanist and there's
Just
some
poison
like
people.
ecological, maybe
You set like traps.
maybe during the flood, right at the end, her lab was destroyed and she's trying to secure like some funding, but she can't because all the red tape and all that stuff. And then like she goes crazy or something. I don't know. But like you could there are ways to do that because like I mean there has to be like a Gotham University that is probably somewhere in the inner city that probably got flooded too, and her probably research lab or something was in there.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm looking most forward to is what they're going to do with the flooding and
Because there's going to be
resources.
consequences. Like they
Yes.
literally, I mean, they turned it into like Katrina. Like at the end, like
His
they
Batcave is underground. It's probably gone.
but no,
Well,
he's
no, the
got
Batcave
He
was
has a
uptown.
separate.
Batcave
Yeah.
was uptown.
it's in like
he on high ground.
it's uptown.
Yeah.
He's in Wayne Tower
Yeah,
though.
Batcave. I love that Batcave. That Batcave was dope.
With the
Yeah,
bats
it was
at the-
more believable.
Yeah.
It was more believable. It was like an inner city, like abandoned. It looked like some abandoned subway.
State. Yeah.
And I love
station.
the scene where he was dealing with the little bird cage. There was a bat in there. The rat cage. Sorry, there was a bat
Wayne-
in there. He was still timid, like
Yeah.
there's a bat.
Stick
Oh,
to
there
his
you go,
fear of
Batman. You're still
Yeah.
afraid of bats.
Yes.
I have
He's
a
covered in
question.
fear, but he's still like, I ain't 100% sold on these bats.
Shoot.
I have a question. I got into an argument, not an argument, but it was going back and forth. Was Batman uncharacteristically mean to Alfred? The uncle, shout out to Uncle. The uncle and I were arguing. He told me that this is the meanest Batman has ever been to Alfred.
Based on what?
He's
No.
Nah, he's just
Alfred.
He's,
He's
you gotta remember, he's still young. He's still young.
yeah, he's a spoiled
a-
brat.
yeah,
like that's all that
exactly.
was. Like he's the butler. He talks to Alfred like that.
It
Like
was crazy that like that was the first thing he told him when he woke up from the hospital was you lied to me.
Right. Like,
Yo.
no, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I say Bruce is troubled.
Yeah.
Like he is
You
really
go, Batman. I liked it because
I just feel like Batman is
hey
rude
yo,
being
in
blown
some
up.
way. He's always
the
like,
brand.
you know, my dad.
exactly.
Always.
In the Gotham series, they had young Bruce Wayne, so he's like really a kid, and he kicked him out at one point. He said, "Get out of the house." Like,
But
he literally
see,
just kicked him out. Like
it's
he'd
also-
be mean to Alfred.
but it is also Alfred is on. It's a little bit on Alfred too because he even in the hospital he acknowledged that like I realized later that you needed a father, not like because he basically trained him how to fight. Like he's like I don't know how to be a dad, but I can teach you how to fight and stuff. But he needed a father figure, and Alfred wasn't that for him. So like it
was a real
not justifying it, but like I can understand why that relationship is the way it is. Like
He said
Alfred
that-
never tried to like he never tried to nurture Bruce. Like he was just like, hey, nah, you need to be able to protect yourself, and like that's why he's supporting him in his antics in his profession as the Batman.
So I
But-
have a question about the Riddler. How did he get the voicemail recording that was on Catwoman's phone?
The voice recording on Catwoman's phone.
The recording that
Which
he
one?
leaked that had the recording message of Falcone killing her friend or lover, because she might have been bisexual in this movie.
Oh, you talking about how they released it to the public?
I thought the detective did, or the policeman.
Yeah, I
No.
thought they did it.
No, the Riddler released it.
Oh, I mean, bro was in the mayor. He snuck
Or
into
did
the
Gordon-
mayor's mansion. Like I'm pretty sure he could break into the
Or did
apartment.
Gordon
and
release it? I think
No,
Gordon
they-
might have released it.
they accidentally
Which
released it because
recording we talking
he had the Trojan. No, it was a
No,
it was a
was
Trojan
earlier
horse
in
on
the
the phone.
Right.
Not only
Because
that,
they were trying to break the code. Because remember, they never actually solved the riddle after they figured out who the El Rata or whatever was. Because they thought it was Bruce, but it was also Falcone or Falcone, And
No,
then
Catwoman's phone. Her phone had that voicemail. I think it was Gordon that leaked it because
Even
I
if
think he took
Gordon,
the phone from Catwoman.
Right. He gave
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's
He
what I
gave
thought.
it to the
I thought they
police.
leaked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it could have
oh
been
maybe
either Gordon or the Riddler, but because we know that the Riddler had access to Gordon's computer. He put that thumb drive in his computer. I just assumed after that point that not only did he send out all those emails, but he's gonna have like backdoor access into the police files because he was able to get onto Gordon's laptop.
that's what I thought. Like
That's true.
yeah, because it's a flash drive, right? It was the
The
thumb drive, right?
voicemail was local.
You don't. That's
to
why you don't put
Catwoman's phone.
flash drive,
Random.
random flash drives into your computer. That's why you don't do that.
Never,
Exactly.
ever.
Never.
Yeah. I think I don't know if they. I don't know. JVN, that's a great point though.
Rookie
Like
mistake.
I need to
I
watch
think it was
the film
Gordon,
again.
because walking away from the skyscraper, they said bring the rat into light, and the rat was Falcone.
But
and so
remember,
he
yeah,
did
but
that.
That was a
remember,
separate.
yeah, but remember, the Riddler was like, "Thank you for doing that for me."
Yeah, he
Like he
did.
didn't do that.
Yeah, it was Gordon. It was Gordon.
Am I the only person who was kind of bummed? Like, yo, you out here trying to be like the smartest person in Gotham, and you don't even know who Batman is? Like, wouldn't he
Who, the
try?
Riddler?
Yeah, wouldn't he try to solve the riddle for who the Batman is? And I was
Yes.
convinced throughout the whole movie, not just when he was saying Bruce and the thing. I just knew the Riddler knew who it was, and that's why I was kind of
That
surprised
was a
he was
great
trying to kill
twist.
him. Like, what are you
Because
doing? I thought killing or hurting Alfred was intentional to say like I can get to you, Batman. But then later we found out he does. I was like, oh, you're supposed to be smart.
That was the one weird thing. Like Bruce was the only person he didn't attempt to kill in person. Like everyone else, he physically got involved with, but with Bruce, he like mails a letter. And the only thing I can make sense of that is he never knew how to track down Bruce because Bruce was so reclusive.
That
Well,
and
yeah, and
Like,
You just got
imagine
two
him
people around
trying to, because he was in Wayne Tower. Like imagine him trying to get inside of Wayne Tower, like because they own that entire tower. Like wherever the mayor was in his mansion, like it would be hard
Why's
for me to
Alfred opening the
believe.
mail, though?
Because he's the butler, man. I don't know.
But
I mean,
why
that's
he
technically a
open it?
federal.
They should have a whole nother
It's
person.
technically a federal crime, but like I
They
don't
sent a
know.
report. They were running out of
Not if you allow someone.
money.
To say, "We want
I
you to
disagree.
open."
I'm pretty sure it's okay. He's okayed him to open the
But like,
the
why
letters,
is
but
he tasked to open in the mail? They could have gave that to something else. Like, come on, man.
nah, man. He's the only
Alfred.
person. He's the only person that he trusts
he bringing them
to
tea.
read
He giving
his
them
mail.
bacon.
I
So what?
disagree a little bit. I felt like it was not because he couldn't, but because he didn't want to see him. Bruce was the one person he attacked who didn't actually do anything. Like
just
Bruce himself was not responsible. I think that was jealousy. That was I should
Oh
be
yeah,
He
that's
was
I
true.
need to be you. You
Yeah.
should be me. Just because you had rich parents and now you're the son of Gotham and now I'm left out to the side. And he was a choir boy. We don't know what happened to him. His life was miserable, way worse than we could ever imagine. And I felt that was just him being like super duper upset that he wasn't able to take his spot. And that's why he kind of chose the coward option to just throw a bomb at him versus doing it himself.
Mhm.
Sorry to all the altar boys that had a good experience. I mean,
Well, in Gotham, some of the villains know who Batman really is, and some of them don't.
Eventually, yeah, they start.
Yeah,
that.
eventually, like they figure
Find
it out. Usually, it's the Joker he figures it out. But
The Joker. The thing is, the Joker doesn't care. Like
I'm a Joker.
he doesn't care. Like
There's no
that
logic.
is Bruce. He didn't. That's not important to him. Like, and to a lot of the villains, like I don't know. It's most of them just they don't really care that it's a secret identity or whatever you like. It's still a personal vendetta. And I mean, if you look close enough, it would be kind of hard to upkeep that illusion for forever anyway.
yeah.
This is why it's good that once as he gets older and starts recruiting, like, and I feel like the mayor's son is going to be Robin. I'm calling that now.
Oh, most definitely.
mm-hmm.
I was thinking that too.
He's
As
definitely
soon as
Robin.
his father died,
Yeah, yeah.
he's attached.
He saw it too.
Robin
Like
could
he's
be in the sequel, maybe. Who knows?
No, let's not do that.
Nope.
Nah, not yet, bro. Nah.
Don't do that.
I'm not. We
Because I
ain't
want to
doing no.
direct.
Yeah, exactly.
direct
I'm not doing no
sequel.
time jumps and
I want
time
a
like
direct
no.
sequel from when it got flooded and everything.
Yeah,
They need to give
True,
us.
yeah. I
They
do want
they
that.
need to give
The
us 2 sequels, and then they can do a time jump, and then bring a new trilogy. Then you can introduce Robin. But no, I need 2 of these
Gotham
movies.
is completely isolated right now. We don't need to be bringing other people. Like Batman need to figure that out first. Like it's completely
Yeah.
isolated. No one can get in and out really. I don't know where Catwoman went, but
Yeah,
she
Bruce.
said she went upstate.
Well, people can get out. It's just the lowest part of Gotham that's flooded.
Yeah,
All
the
the
slums.
Gotham's not flooded.
It's
But
where all the
just
poor folk
reminded me
are.
of in the end of the Gotham series. They had a similar ending where they blew up all the bridges in and out, and then they had to get the National Guard in there to help everybody, and it was basically just ran by criminals. So I think they did a version of that when they flooded Gotham, and because he said like the National Guard came and tried to help the good citizens of it because it was being ran by criminals. So I want to see a direct sequel to that, so we can see how Batman's going to deal with multiple villains at the same time.
Right. They're good. I
that's
think
tough.
they're going to be running rampant.
Because it's going to be multiple villains.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that whole
Arkham. People might break out of Arkham because of this.
Yeah, that whole thing created some villains just on its own. Like that entire scenario creates villains by itself.
That mayor coming out to speak to the people and then got dropped immediately.
Bro, I was like, yo, what is she thinking? Like
She was not listening.
Why she not listen to the police? The police said they
like,
safe.
but she was like holding her side even though she got shot up here. I was like,
yes. I'm glad you noticed that.
yeah.
First it was up here, and then it was like, oh, my side. That's
She
the
hit a
only
rib.
continuity
I wonder-
thing.
that because I bet you because I mean all that happened in post. The director probably told her the gunshot wound was in one place, and then in post they put the bullet wound somewhere else. That's probably what happened.
I was thinking like Gordon when he was dragging her, she might have hit her rib or something. That might have been a real moment for her. Like her rib really got hurt.
Oh, on set, like okay, I can see that too. She's like, oh. Oh, she went to.
I think she's gonna have a bigger role in the next film because if you saw the end of the film, he was overlooking like
it's his
flood.
city.
He's an opportunist. Like the Penguin is an opportunist, and he said, "Okay, this is my opportunity to run this." So he's gonna have his own little game.
He was on code with the gangster stuff. I like that. He was on code.
Yeah.
Like
he was.
Falcone was a rat. He was ready to pull out on him. I was like, yo, Penguin lit.
Penguin ready.
Exactly.
It is whatever it is to keep him alive. That's what he's for.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see him just continuing that same motto and getting all the resources and divvying it out to whoever does his bidding.
That's why they thought he was a rat because he's so.
This was
slimy,
very
right?
subtle. Like when Batman pulled up on him with the Batmobile, and he told the dirty cop to get the money. I thought that was cool because it kind of reminded me of Tony Montana a bit. He was like, he told him to get the money, and then he just drove off to lead Batman away from the thing that was most important to him.
Yeah.
Like man. Then
Oh.
he called him a freak. I love that. I love that moment.
I was trying to respond to the Captain's Log. I just realized I responded as Gumbo. But Captain's Log, you brought up a good point that the actor who played Tim Drake in Titans was the same kid from the Joker gang that they were trying to initiate. And I felt at that time I didn't know who he was because I don't watch Titans, but I was like, they're showing half of his face for a reason. It's not because he hasn't been initiated yet. It's to show us his face. And I was actually surprised we didn't see him again in the film, but I'm under the impression that we may see that actor again.
And it also serves as like, it's a visual cue to let you know that he's halfway in but halfway out. Like he's not fully committed to this yet. Like I said, like the symbolism all throughout this movie is just phenomenal. Like
visual cues. Is Catwoman in this movie, is she bisexual?
I didn't think so.
I don't know.
Calling her friend baby.
I feel like the rental prices is probably like New York City, so they probably just roommates because like they gotta save money out here. I mean, honestly,
it's Catwoman.
Catwoman. I thought it was a little ambiguous. I thought that was
that's what Catwoman is though. Like Catwoman, you really don't even know what side she's aligned.
Right. Because she used
like,
baby
is she a bad guy?
more
is
than
she
one
a
person.
Guy? Like, Where's she going?
Yeah.
Like, does she really like Bruce Wayne? Is she just using Bruce Wayne right now?
Yeah.
Sorry, Batman right now. You know?
But I mean, she also, I mean, she works in a strip club. Like that's just the vernacular around there. Like I didn't really take it as anything
Yeah, I
other than
thought she
that.
was just coming. Like I thought
Yeah.
she just stayed there to hide away. I didn't even think that they shared the apartment. But that's a
Oh
good.
no, they definitely shared it because she had the suit in there and all that stuff.
They were close. Yeah, she had both hands.
I think Ebony was trying to say that the friend wasn't living there, that the friend was hiding in her.
Oh, she was just staying. Oh, she was staying. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I ain't really thinking too much into it.
I liked that Catwoman suit. I liked that Catwoman and both the Riddler, their suits were not costumes. Like, I mean, Batman is still Batman, so of course it's gonna look like a costume no matter what. But they just had clothes on. Like, I really liked that, and I know that's taking away from the comic books, but I don't know if they could just keep going.
Still got the cat ears.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. Like it. I think it was
Riddler
close
still has
enough.
Question mark.
I think it.
They put the green trimming on the saucer that was under the teacup that he was drinking.
Got the logos and everything. Yeah,
right.
That's
detail.
all.
Their branding there.
Yeah, I think it was more all of the costumes were functional, like, and it really actually fit the character within the story. For the film, like I didn't feel like it was. I mean, it's not that type of movie. Like they weren't trying to be like too comic booky. Like they wanted it. They just used the characters in the story, but it's still, grounded in this more realism, more so than Marvel is. Like Marvel is going to be more closer to a comic book portrayal of characters and costumes than DC should try to be, because honestly it does not fit. Like, because DC is always the darker story, but they always have these like over the top costumes that don't really fit the tone. But they did tone it down over the years. But like it does for the film, it does, these toned down costumes actually work better.
The only place costumes worked recently is Peacemaker.
But it is that type of is that type of show though. Like, and in I mean the what you call it? I want to call it. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy. What is that? Suicide Squad.
They were.
It's the same. Yeah, it's cheesy, corny. They're, it's over the top. It's supposed to be.
Like, you look stupid. Like,
yeah, it's more satire in that sense, right? Like, so
Marvel, they don't be bagging on people's uniforms.
No,
where do y'all rank the bat suit?
I like it, but I would like
it's
to
solid.
see it, like, again. I want to see the movie again.
Bro, it's so dark. Like, I don't know.
When I saw it the second time, I was just looking at his mask, like, dang.
I like his mask.
It's
like
it's
just leather, right? Wasn't it just leather?
Yeah, it's just leather.
But he had his eye paint, so it's completely dark eyes.
Like, yeah, I like that bat suit.
They always have eye paint, except this is the only movie where they kept his eye makeup on when he takes off the masks. In the other movies, it just disappears. Like, that's not really.
Oh yeah, true.
They even show him putting on the eye makeup before he puts his mask.
Yeah. And he stayed in like, you don't really get a good look at the suit in totality because he stays in the shadows. Like he is always in dark, and I think that it helps with the suit. And I do like the cowl though. Like the cowl is the most noticeable part of his outfit for me, and then the gun being the bat symbol, because like the bat symbol is the gun that killed his parents.
Yeah, it has like two parts, I think. The gun, and then it was like the little throwing
the batarang.
Yeah, the batarang.
Put back in, yeah.
Ducky had to leave, but he brought up a point earlier that he's brought up several times, so it's very clear it bothers him, but I wasn't mad at it. We know that behind the scenes there was a lot of beef because they wanted Robert Pattinson to bulk up for the movie, and Rob was like, no, you're gonna get like 2 abs, that's it. How do y'all feel about his body?
I I I didn't have an issue with it because you don't have to be super big to be able to be good at fighting. You know what I mean? Bruce Lee was very small, but he would whip your behind up.
Period.
And with Bruce Wayne, that suit he had was like all the power that he needed. Like,
And he's a new
He's
Batman. So
and well, the thing is, like, he was toned. Like, he wasn't like
oh, he
he's
was.
not he wasn't
he
chiseled.
wasn't frail. You know
But
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
he wasn't frail either. Like he had muscle definition. Like that's the thing. Like it did look like he could hold himself in a fight. That's all I'm saying. Like I think his character should build muscle and mass over time as he gets older naturally. But like two
Yeah.
years into it, yeah, he can be a little slim. But he wasn't frail. So like it didn't bother me. I thought he was about to be like just flabby and skinny and like Edward type
He
of, and
did
I'm
look
like,
a
nah,
little
because
skinny.
like you take,
That back,
I'm about to see like Edward chest and not like because he actually has some definition. So I didn't think it was I don't think he and Christian Bale had about the same muscle mass. Like it wasn't too
no,
much
Christian Bale's
difference.
had much more muscle mass.
And Christian was also shorter, so it looked more
Stocky, yeah.
Compact.
yeah. But
Okay.
Rob's a lot taller.
Christian Bale was waking up doing push-ups. Like, y'all
True.
remember that in
You
the
know,
movie?
Ben Affleck, he did steroids, so he was ready to go.
Hey,
He was
Ben,
ready
so
to
I
go.
would say Ben Affleck definitely has the best comic book accurate Batman body of all the
Yes.
Batman. Like
Very big at the
he's
top.
wide, he's big and wide. Like
I really liked it, and I appreciated the slimness of him. For one, to show his age, he's younger. He has not been doing it as much, and also he gets beat up. Someone who's a little more sold, or at least for the way you think about Batman in the comics, and he's not as, I don't want to say frail, but this Batman got jacked up a couple times, and I think that's good for the character. Also, we got that moment, with his back where they kind of showed his muscles and kind of his bones to show, like, to give the illusion of wings
The
or something.
stars and everything. Yeah.
I don't think you would have gotten that if he was more toned. Also, I think there was some CGI going on in there too.
Oh yeah, CGI was all in those fight scenes.
yeah.
That was all in there. But that
They
back
said
shot,
the
that reminds
night
me of
one was
Joker
practical.
movie.
They said the night one was practical. So he was really getting hit by fake rounds.
No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
He
So
was
they
hit by
had
beanbags, bro.
yeah, well
Beanbags that close would cause serious damage.
yeah, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. Like
I think they were just
they're firing blanks out of the weapons, but then they have like these small like explosives on the suit that aren't like super powerful, but it's kind of like the poppers that you get like at like Halloween that sparkle, and then they add a little bit more flair in post to it. But he is getting, and then of course you got some gunpowder from the blanks hitting you at the same time, which kind of helps. But it's not like anything. It wouldn't be a beanbag. He would have dropped like on that first shot. Like no,
Maybe a small.
yeah, no, he would not.
Bro.
No,
he was taking man, that double barrel shotgun about blew his chest off.
But I like that
No.
he kept shooting at Batman. He just kept like,
Like, man, he
he's
lucky
lucky shot and
he
still
didn't
walking
go.
forward. Man. He was nice. That armor was something else.
I
All right,
appreciate
well-
he didn't have suit problems in this movie, because issues with the suit is like a topic of previous movies.
yeah, I think they've gotten better with the
Yeah. The
suits
only,
over time.
Suit issue I saw was when at the end they were pulling him by his cape. I thought that was funny.
Oh
People
yeah.
they make a lot of Batman jokes about how you could just pull his cape.
Why you had to be the
Let me go.
All right, well, we have passed the hour mark. We're 10 minutes past the hour mark. I would love to continue this conversation, but I think it's about time to wrap it up.
I think so too.
Imani, you
Yes.
wanna take us out?
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on those alerts. I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a little bit more of us. We are very excited and we have missed you. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch at Certified Gumbo. Please buy us some coffee. It helps us keep things running. The link is in the description bar down below. And as always, join us on Discord. Although we've been quiet on YouTube, we are very loud on Discord. There's conversations
Yes.
happening 24/7. Recently, Wordle has taken over the gaming mobile games channel. Loving that. So please join us on Discord. We would love to see and hear from you.
Absolutely, definitely echo that sentiment. I also want to say I don't know how many of the newer subscribers are watching this episode, but I appreciate all the support that we got on the Star Citizen review episode we put out this past Sunday. It's last I checked, it was at 1,500 views.
Nice.
We picked up like 30 subscribers off of that, so that's been quite an uplift. I had planned to make more videos, but that's like further incentive to do more. So I'm very excited for the next video that I'm going to put out next week. So definitely stay tuned for that. And if you're interested in playing that game, just let me know in the Discord. I'll send you my referral code because it'll give you some extra cash when you sign up, which is definitely needed. But that's all I got to say. JBM, you got any closing remarks?
As always, thanks for chilling with us and good night.
Mark and Ebony, y'all got anything y'all want to say before we end this thing?
Just appreciate for having us and hopefully be back on more of these.
Join us in the Discord, guys.
We definitely hope to have you guys on more often as we do more shows in this upcoming year. And as I always say, peace, love, blessings, and may the force be with you always.